and the wicked choices of his creatures to bring about his sovereign will, which is altogether righteous. Well, John has already shown how that works out in the New Testament, that the cross was not an accident. The cross was the most wicked evil ever perpetrated by human beings. Caiaphas meant it for evil. Pilate meant it for evil. The Pharisees meant it for evil. But over and above the human intentionality, the human decisions that grew out of the evil inclinations and impulses of fallen human beings, God was at work to bring about good. I didn't know, I thought this place was a desert, and I didn't know that there were seals in the desert. Thank you. And then I want to wonder why we call the most wicked event in the history of the world that took place in Golgotha, that we remember that and call that day Good Friday. Why don't we call it Bad Friday? We don't call it Bad Friday because what God wrought in that action was the greatest good in the history of the world, and the atonement for his people. Now, what we see here in this passage, well, let me read it, the rest of it. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order. Now, those two words, in order, in the text, express purpose. God meant it for good. God's purpose in all of this, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. So don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your little ones. And he comforted them and he spoke kindly to them, not because of their good intentions, but because of God's good intention. You know how God's sovereignty works? You had the old adage, for one of a nail, the shoe was lost. For one of the shoe, the horse was lost. For one of the horse, the rider was lost. For one of the rider, the battle was lost. And so the pivotal moment that decided the outcome of the battle was a single nail from the shoe of the horse. An insignificant detail became the pivotal reason for the loss of the battle. Do you ever think of what led to Good Friday? Whatever led to your salvation? Just go back a little bit in time. Jacob favors Joseph, so he makes this gorgeous coat of many colors for him. And he gives him that coat. And Joseph struts around like a peacock in the thing. And he tells his older brothers that I had this dream where you guys were bowing down in front of me. And they said, that's it. It's enough with the coat. You know, this kid has got to go. And so they go and they sell him into slavery, and he goes. It just happens. It just so happened. And when they're trying to get rid of him, just at that second comes these caravanners on their way to Egypt. And there's this unplanned intersection between the intentions of the Midianite caravan merchants meeting up with the plans of Joseph's brother. And so when they join together, everybody's happy. It's a no-lose situation. The brothers get rid of Joseph. The Midianite traders get a prize that they can sell in the slave market. So they now go down to Egypt. And just by chance, when they put this kid up for sale in the slave block, it just so happens that the one who gets the winning bid is this captain of the guard named Potiphar, who just happened to be married to this unscrupulous woman who tried to seduce this young slave, who was falsely accused, thrown into prison, where there happened to be his fellow prisoners, the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. And while he's in there, he's interpreting dreams for them. And it just so happens that one of them gets out and goes to talk to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh has these nightmares. But good luck for Joseph, the candlestick maker remembers this guy back in prison who can interpret dreams. You know the story, so he finally brings him back. Joseph becomes the prime minister. The famine comes. The brothers come. They finally invite Jacob to come back down to Egypt. And if it hadn't have been for that, the Jews never would have sojourned in Egypt. But now they come and they live in the land of Goshen. They multiply, they produce, but it just so happens that there comes this Pharaoh who didn't know about Joseph. And instead of giving safe conduct to these Jewish immigrants, he decides to turn them into a slave labor force to take care of his public building project.